Welcome back everyone to my Let's Play of Final Fantasy V, the 4-job Fiesta for T&V Small Critter Rescue. Last episode, we ended up finding a black chocobo in the forest on Crescent Island. That allowed us to fly off the island and explore some of the world. We visited some villages, and got some extra stuff, and now we're returning here to the ancient library to see Cid and Mid. Remember they said if anything goes wrong, to come back and talk with them. Well, the steamship got swallowed in that whirlpool. But it doesn't seem that Cid and Mid are too concerned about that. They have more important news to tell us. That news is that the King of Tycoon, they spotted him, and he went over to the Quicksand Desert. Quicksand Desert, we saw that earlier. We couldn't really advance in the Quicksand Desert because the quicksand there like moved you around. Well, Cid and Mid thankfully have a way. They think they can get us across that Quicksand Desert, so we're going to have to head over there and listen to them and put their idea to work. Too bad we can't use the black chocobo to get across the Quicksand Desert, because I'll show off real quick here. Beyond the desert, there's a town. That's our eventual destination. But there's no force for the black chocobo to land in, so yeah, we're very limited in, like I said, where we can land with the black chocobo. But luckily, by the end of this episode, we won't be limited. So there's a pyramid there. That's going to be like a dungeon later on in the game. It's the worst dungeon in the game. I hate it. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. For now, we're just going to have to cross the sand, the Quicksand Desert. Luckily, no new enemies. Already seen all the enemies around here. We've already seen all the enemies in the Quicksand Desert. And the enemies beyond the Quicksand Desert are the same ones that are around Jakol. So you have the bio soldiers, the twin lizards, and the bomb enemies. The only new monster we're going to find is the boss. Yeah, the boss is right here at the beginning of the dungeon. And that is going to be our way across this quicksand here. So you're thinking it's a big sandworm? We're not going to pull a dune and ride the sandworm. Instead, we're going to summon the sandworm and kill it. And then we're going to cross the desert on its body, basically using its body as a bridge. So Galuf basically says that's pretty violent, but I guess we gotta do what we gotta do. So, and just say yes, and we get to fight this really annoying boss. What's annoying about this boss is it's accompanied by two empty holes. So the sandworm, there's 3 holes, 2 are empty, one's the sandworm comes out of. And the sandworm is going to rotate between the holes. So Mid said there, don't use magic against the sandworm here. If you have Aqua Lung, the water magic, you can use it against the sandworm and defeat it in 1 hit. He's probably telling you not to use magic, which is the reason why we're not going to use terrain. Because if you hit a hole, an empty hole, like I accidentally did there at the beginning of the battle, the hole casts the Demi spell, which reduces the character's hit points in half, which is a real problem when you get hit by that quicksand spell that the sandworm used there. This quicksand spell causes the sap status, so as you can see our characters are slowly losing their hit points after they get hit by that quicksand. So if they keep getting their hit points halved, you know, it could put them in real danger. Luckily, Lenna's not doing too much because she can only really attack with that knife. So if needed be, she can help T&V use white magic to keep the party healed up. T&V is mainly going to be, you know, hitting people with his healing staff. But when we need a big, large hit points restored to the whole party, like after a quicksand, then Lenna can join in with Cure 2. Actually, anybody can really join in with Cure 2. That's a good thing about, I guess, starting with the White Mage class. Everybody has the white ability, and we've gotten it high enough that everyone can cast Cure 2, which is white level 3. As you see, not a tough monster, but just more annoying. That's why I'm speeding up here. I have it at 3 times the speed. So, yeah, as long as you keep yourself healed up, not going to be a problem. Healing is not a problem, like I said, because we have the White Mage. But, it seems that we're back to that initial problem that we had with this party when they were all White Mages, that we don't have very good offense when we can't exploit an elemental weakness. So if these enemies have like weak to ice, we'd be able to kill this thing real quick. the next boss we fight is going to be Route to Thunder. We're going to take that one out real quick. So, but yeah, this party so far I've seen the biggest weakness is just the offense if you can't exploit an elemental weakness. So, and we tell them, hey, while we're gone, look after the black chocobo. Which is going to cause something really strange to happen, and I'll talk about it when we get to it, but it doesn't make sense what happens, but they will take care of that black chocobo, so. Let's heal ourselves up here. We still got a little bit of the dungeon to go through here. We just cross where the bumps are. That'll get us across. And yeah, there's still a few of these places that, like sand tunnels that moves around. Where the color of the ground is solid, that means you can walk anywhere. But anywhere where there's like a change in the pattern, that means there's a sand tunnel there that pushes you around. Luckily I get through pretty easily. I had trouble the last Fiesta I did. I got stuck around this area here, but you gotta go to the third one over on the left, and you'll pass through. Now, if you try to go back to the quicksand desert, you just get back taking that little area, so you can't like jump in and try to explore where the pyramid is at. Like I said, that'll be a dungeon later on in the game. But we can go down this place to explore this town, which turns out to be a ruined city. Very tiny ruined city, but it is where we're going to play a game of hide-and-go-seek with the King of Tycoon. So he appears there at the beginning in the lower right corner, and we gotta find him 4 times to advance the plot. This can be kind of annoying. The first few ain't that bad because you can kind of see where he's going. Head over here to the right, step in there, we see he heads to the north, so we just head to this north building. But after this, he's gonna walk off screen. You don't really know where. And we head over to the left, and there's 2 buildings there. You can search all around the bottom building if he doesn't appear. What you have to do instead is head over to this staircase over here, and we'll see him climb the staircase. And then this is going to take us back to the center, to the top of those stairs that we initially were going to climb up. And you think he'd go to the center there, and he'd appear there, but he doesn't. So what you have to do is you have to climb back down here. That's kind of annoying, and that causes him to appear and run into the center area here. So after all that run around, you think that we'd be able to talk with him, but nope. The only talking we get is Faris claims that the king is her father too. So it turns out that Sarissa and Faris, not Sarissa, Lenna and Faris, I'm thinking Sarissa's her actual princess name. Lenna and Faris are actually sisters. So, yeah, we'll learn about her real name, Sarissa, later on, why it got changed to Faris. But that'll be later. Speaking of later, now that after this, you can go back to Tycoon Castle. It's a scene that most people probably don't see, because there's no reason to head back to Tycoon Castle. But if you do head back to Tycoon Castle after Faris reveals that she is Lenna's sister, we get a scene there between the 2 sisters. So we're going to see that a little later, but for now, we just have to explore these rooms. Luckily, they're very small, and it doesn't matter that Galuf is separated from us, because he's going to show off his impressive upper body strength and show how he can just shimmy across this pipe here using his upper body strength to just crawl across it. He can go out for Ninja Warrior, and he pops up, and there he is. So yeah, we have to separate the party, and we'll do that later on in the game. We'll have a section where we play it only as Galuf, and then a section where we just play with it'll be the other 3 characters. So, but it's not a big party split like how they split this party sometimes in the next Final Fantasy VI. They have actually big long scenarios where you play with 1 or 2 characters and do different things. So it's pretty neat. So here we are. We're just stepped on this teleporter. It reminds me of the Serpent Road in Final Fantasy IV. That link to Baron and Mysidia under the water. So, but this one, it links this ruined city to, looks like Crescent Island. We're gonna find out that we're actually below Crescent Island. Notice how it kind of passed by Chacol So yeah, these towns are all kind of related with one another. Thunk. And apparently it's been so long since that thing's been used that, well, after we used it, it blew up. So now we're gonna just get this little cutscene here with Cid and Mid, and this is the part that I was saying makes no sense. They were supposed to take care of the black chocobo, and they figured, hey, we'll just take the black chocobo home. But now if they did that, how are they gonna get back to the ancient library? You know? Are they just gonna build a new steamship here? How would they know that there's parts available to do that? How do they even know about, you know, Crescent Island? I mean, they read about it, but they don't know anything about it. We didn't tell them that there's a city there, that there's a village, or anything about it. So, yeah. But it's important that we link with them, so the game just did something that doesn't make sense logically to have them rejoin us. So then this little, like, side quest here. You don't have to do this. What I'm going to do here. So there's this button down here, and it says, do you want to push it? If you say yes, then, you have a problem. If you say no, then you get the option to pull it, and if you say pull it, then you just pull it, and it opens up the wall to the right, and you get the treasure. But if you don't pull it, if you don't do that, you basically get this little, like, mini quest where you gotta wander around, and it tells you to go to different places. So it tells us to look at the flowers. So I already looked at the flowers on the far right, but I guess you have to look at all of them before it appears. And you get another direction telling you to look at the stationery to the right. Luckily there's no monsters in here, so you find the stationery. Monkeys always look, and that gets TNV mad. I wonder what it is with Square and monkeys. There's a big side quest dealing with a monkey in Final Fantasy VIII. It involves throwing stones. I don't know. Maybe there's something. But I don't know. But anyway, we come over here, we look here, and we get the frog appears in this pot. We bump the bookshelf, and the bookshelf tells us to go down and pull. So remember when we first got to this button, it said, do you want to push it? We said yes. Now it gives us the option to pull it. So we pull it, and that makes the door disappear. And we get the size spell, and 2 shurikens. Shurikens will just sell. Those are things you throw with a ninja. But yeah, we got the size spell there. So now we have the level 2 white magic filled out. So like I said, it's a throwback to Final Fantasy III, which is also where the job quest system that this game uses originated in. Remember the Toad and Minnie size spell there were spells that you had to use to do different dungeons. So we can't go through that door up to the top, it's locked, but we can unlock it by pressing this button, which also causes a hole to appear that Cid and Mid are about to fall in. So not only did they strangely go to the place where they would have no way back home, but they managed to stand in the exact position where they needed to be to fall into this area and relink with us. So, turns out this place right here is just like a kind of an old underground base, and hey, there's our steamship. So yeah, that whirlpool is like an entrance to this underground base. More importantly than the steamship, though, is this ship right over here. It has a bunch of propellers on it. Propellers on a ship, how strange. And how strange that it's just where Cid and Mid fall to. Cid, Mid, Al, Terrari, TNV, Lenna, Faris, Galuf. So Cid lets us know where we are, because we don't know we're under Crescent Lake, but he tells us basically, hey, we're Crescent Island, so... Crescent Lake, Crescent Island. Crescent Lake is the town in Final Fantasy I. That's where the Circle of Sages are at. He gave us the canoe and told us to go seek out, carry the Fiend of Fire. So... And Mid now, he's seeking out his grandfather, who excitedly ran downstairs. Get to see the inside of this airship. Which is a thing that we'll see in Final Fantasy VI. You get to go inside the airship. See inside, kind of like how you got the big whale in Final Fantasy IV, and the Talon in Final Fantasy Legend III. So, Cid, even though, you know, he hasn't ever seen an airship, he's read about them in a book. and he knows exactly what button or lever or switch to push to get the airship to take off. But, unfortunately, can't do too much exploring because, well, Mid says is awesome. It is awesome. What isn't awesome is there is a boss monster that's going to prevent us from taking flight. What is it? It must be an airship. I read about it in an old book once. I can't believe they really exist. Yeah, so here it is. What's going on? You see that something's pulling down the airship. It's a boss monster. But luckily, this boss monster, unlike the sandworm that we fought outside the quicksand in the quicksand desert, this one actually has an elemental weakness, so we can take care of it pretty easily by just having two magic knights there cast the Boltus spell on their swords. We can actually use terrain here on the Crate Claw. So, and I guess Tsunami is non-elemental, because if you hit him with like the water spell, the Aqua Breath, he would gain hit points. We see Faris when she's anyone who's in the Magic Knight class, if they get brought down to critical hit points, if they automatically cast the barrier spell on themselves, which reduces the amount of damage that magic attacks do. That's their first ability that they learn, so you can equip on anybody who learns that first ability. But Crate Claw isn't all that tough. I say we can take it out easily because of its lightning weakness. And, finish it off. I spelled weakness wrong there. Oops. Uh-oh. Boo. And we get an ice bow. We'll never use that because we don't have the hunter class. And now we have access to an airship, though. Like other Final Fantasies, the airship flies basically all around the entire world, but it can only land. Where it's flat grass. So, but this airship is maybe a little bit different. I guess because we used parts of the steamship to fix it up. This airship is unique in that we can land it in the water. So this is how we're going to get some sea encounters. I mentioned that there's some sea encounters around Istory that we have to get to fill out our bestiary. So we're going to head over there later on. But for now, the game doesn't really tell you where to go. It just says, like, hey, go out and explore. But if you want to advance the plot, we just head back to where that ruined city was. And that'll cause a new cutscene to appear. That cutscene will, create the plot. We'll open up the plot. The town. What's happening to the town? Well, it turns out the town is basically like the Death Star. It's this big floating fortress. It doesn't destroy a planet, but I guess it can destroy towns. So, yeah, we don't want that floating around in the sky. Unfortunately, we can't reach. It's too high in the sky for us to reach. But luckily, whenever there's a problem, we just go to Cid and Mid, and they'll tell us potentially how to fix it. So we get to fly around here. We see that there's that one stone remaining to show that only one crystal remains. The Earth Crystal. And apparently we weren't told about a machine being used on the Earth Crystal. Cid, remember, he only created the crystal amplification machines for the Wind Crystal, the Water Crystal, and the Fire Crystal. But apparently the Earth Crystal had a machine hooked up to it too. They were going to learn about right here. Cid Mid. We know, we saw it through a telescope. And of course they found a book. Earth crystals inside of flying moons. The city was kept afloat using the crystal. They knew the crystal was about to shatter, so they landed the city. And so somebody started the machine, and we realized it must have been King Tycoon. Remember, he was possessed by that evil spirit at the end of the Wind Shrine. We know that evil spirit is, I guess, the spirit of X-Death, an evil dark mage who was sealed here by the crystal and Galuf and 3 of his friends 30 years ago. Galuf to the rescue again. He knows where we can find this adamantium we're apparently going to need to make the ship fly higher. And he says, hey, there's some adamantium in the meteorite that I came in. So that basically tells us, hey, let's go to that meteorite and grab some adamantium. And luckily Cid and Mid will know exactly what to do with it to make the airship fly higher. Even though, like I said, they just discovered this airship. I guess they're really good at finding the right books to read and are really good speed readers. So we're going to head back to the Tycoon meteorite, get that adamantium, and since we're going to be in the area, we can also end up seeing that additional cutscene that we got now that Faris has mentioned that she really is Lenna's sister. So, but we'll do that in the next episode because this episode's been long enough. So take care, have a good one. Hope to see you in the next episode. Bye.